Good day. Good day. Give me 1 second, please. One moment. No, my live isn't showing up. How's everyone doing? There we go. There we go. Man, thank y'all. To you who saves me. 1 second. Tell me something new, y'all. What's been going on in your individual constituent lives? Caught up in the live. What are my thoughts on fasting and the benefits for the mind? Great question. I fast every year for Ramadan. I would say it's always a beautiful experience. I feel like it just makes you more in tune with yourself in a way, because you're not, I guess, listening to your body at all times. It's like giving yourself moments to occupy that you usually don't. It's very P. Walaikum salam. Missing my ex? Type. For sure. Started working at McDonald's. Never a bad thing. Currently journaling about the feelings of lust, greed, laziness. See it everywhere at this point. I agree. I've been having conversations with a lot of people about that, actually. About how social media sort of keeps our pleasures at a tap away, at a finger's distance. I listen to MF Doom, of course. Who doesn't listen to MF Doom? Good to hear. Thanks for the answer. Chat. I'm guessing that's in regards to facts. And keeps your mind truly at peace once you understand the meaning behind it. I feel like in general. But yeah, I agree. Love from Ireland, man. Love from wherever I am in the U.S. Don't track me down, please. Please. Love from Egypt, man. I'm trying to go to Egypt. I think that's next on my bucket list. I just want to see the pyramids, man. I know that's not all Egypt is, but that's always been a goal for me. Love from LA. I'll come to LA eventually. Twin. I actually have a twin. I don't know if I can refer to you as twin. But thank you for your appreciation. New York City. I'm going to New York soon too. Got you. Probably in your best interest, though. Not be revealing your whereabouts at the minute. You know, perchance. That may be true. Love from Mercury. What if you're not lying, though? I gotta accept it. What books do you recommend? I would say my top recommendations right now are Becoming Supernatural, Dr. Joe Dispenza, The Alchemist, and 2 Days with Maury. Love from Canada? Yeah. Definitely worth it for Egypt? Bet. Canelo versus Crawford. Am I going to watch it? I don't really watch fights all like that. If I find myself in a place, because I plan on seeing a bunch of my friends tomorrow. If I find myself in a place where I'm going to watch it, then I'm probably going to watch it. My future plans, bro. I'm never letting y'all know that much. Love from Japan, man. I got to go there too. All of y'all are from the places I need to be at. Content. And I've started speaking about how I view things on my channel as well. That's real. Everybody check out Decay and what they got going on. How do we overcome the feeling of being behind our peers and missing out in life? There's no such thing as being behind your peers. I think that's something I had to internalize for myself, because I spent a lot of time trying to be above, trying to be, or finding myself trying to be comfortable below. and it's never really any real grounds for comparison. I mean, of course, there are like standardized testing and whatnot, and people have this material, this, that, and the other. But since when is that like proper justification for us to deprive ourselves of appreciation and being individual and being who we are? I think everyone's path is unique and tailored to them in a way. Not all of us are dealt the same cards, but we have to make sure we're dealing with our cards and appreciating the cards that we do get. So our appreciation isn't in reference to other people's hand. That's what I would say. Favorite video on my channel? The one coming out tomorrow, guys. Stay tuned. Do I practice Islam? Can you talk about how you find your way to practice it? I think, like, do I practice? That's not my current like religious ideology. I wouldn't say that, but I do continue to practice Ramadan year in and year out, just because of the the meaning behind it, I guess, in the overall like fasting and objective. I always spend time with because I do have friends who practice, and just spending time with them, understanding their culture, giving myself a chance to actually immerse myself within it is a beautiful thing each and every year. Um, I think that's how I got into it and why I'm continuing to do it. 3 a.m. in Turkey. Favorite musical artist? Sade. Sade. Any advice how to get out of bad habits? See, that's a real thing. I think one of the only ways is to truly replace it with something good for you. But first, I think that takes presence enough to even have the choice. But once we have the choice, it's really just about making it. Sometimes the choice is difficult though, but it's really about choosing yourself in a way, or choosing to listen to the part of yourself that actually wants to change instead of the parts that wants to remain stagnant. Have I read the Four Agreements? Yes, I do. I love the Four Agreements. I'm glad to hear my videos helped. EE. How do you recommend learning to articulate my thoughts better? I want to eventually start making type of content you do. Just practice talking for real. That's all I could really say. I went from writing though, so yeah. I feel like I'm a quiet person tonight. I feel like I miss out. What do you think? I mean, do you feel like you miss out? I'm not really sure. I mean, there's always something going on. That much is always going to be true. And sometimes it's about appreciating whatever you have going on, and recognizing that that's really where your appreciation is always going to be, wherever you are. And unless you give it to yourself, it's going to be dependent on things outside of you. What are your thoughts on the concept of hope? Would you care to leak the title of my book? You guys want the title? Maybe. Thoughts on the concept of hope itself. I think hope is a very important thing. I think in the same way we have doubt, we should have hope. It's just like the same. They're really just the same thing. Just one is on one side of the coin, one is on the other. So I think it's just about, I don't know, giving into the idea that better can come. But I wouldn't say necessarily basing yourself off of hope. Basing yourself off of where you are right now. I think that's the most important thing. But when you can't do that, of course, believe in something better. I think when you do that, then better is surely to come. Neural knowledge. I do not follow him, but I have watched a video or two. Respect his content. Is getting back with your ex a bad decision? That depends on you, twin. I cannot tell you that. I replaced weed with working out more and doing stuff outside instead of sitting inside smoking all day. That's real. New to my channel, can I summarize what I speak about mostly? I feel like every day is a new challenge. Every day is a new thing, but I think the main things that I generally talk about are self-actualization, self-help, self-love, and learning to let go more than anything. Detachment in a way. Learning to not base yourself off of everything around you. When is the book coming out? Next month. Alchemist is a slow read. That is the quickest read in the world. I read that in like, let me not base it. I think that's a quick read though. You got to give that up. Akash, man, how is Cali? Today's your 18th birthday. Happy birthday. Any advice? You're not that old. Um, just enjoy each moment, really. 18 is a beautiful thing. Um, Crazy how my life and mentality changed for the better since watching your channel. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. 100 men versus one gorilla or 100 men versus one? I think 100 men are taking that gorilla out. That's always been my narrative. 100 men versus one, I forgive you. I just peep what you actually said. I don't even know what that means. Um, Shout out to your interviews, man. Favorite album of all time? Doomsday. No, I'm playing. It's probably realistically it's probably Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. You have a lot of twins. We're all twins in this collective. I'm a real twin though. You can't do that. I have read the Quran. Learning detachment was one of the biggest jumps I've done. Beautiful. How can I love me? How can't you love you? Better question. There's no reason to deprive yourself of love. I think it's like you can ask yourself, why don't I love myself? And any reason that you have, I don't think is proper justification to deprive yourself of something you can give yourself without regard. There's no condition to love yourself. You said heading out tomorrow. We're going to New York for Fashion Week, and then I'm back. Oh, are you about to hit up Fashion Week with Kendall Mir and them? If so, let me know. That's tough. That is very tough. Hello from Florence. Leave the title. I don't know if I could do that for y'all, man. Currently 22 in school, trying to pursue a computer engineering degree. You think that's worth the grind? I have no idea. But I know a couple of people in computer engineering, and they don't seem to think that it's not worth it. Surely job will be out there. Good luck, Verizon. What I see myself in the next coming years, hopefully more present, hopefully more appreciative of life. Thank you, Ermi. Yup, Delmere, Carter, and Carter. That is very tough. You gotta let me know how that goes. My mic sounds a bit low. It's because I'm not talking loud, guys. Is that better? I like your do-rag. Thank you. I have to protect my hair right now. When is the book coming out? Next month. Talk about, okay, it's all right. Jeez. Favorite movie of all time? Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Enough about me, though. How's everybody's day going? How are things looking for y'all? Talking about bro started doing. Yeah, some more. What do you do when you try to talk someone positively about their situation? They keep doubling down. You let them. You can lead a horse to the water. Can't make it drink all the time. You know, before you heal a man of his illness, make sure he's willing to give up the things that make him sick. Not to say it's not worth the effort, but to say that we shouldn't take away from ourselves and our acknowledgement of other people taking away from themselves. My thoughts on moving on and moving forward in life. To me, I see it as an integral way of life and living as a whole. Yeah, you're always leaving stuff behind. Everything is always constantly changing. There's no such thing as something that's unchanging. That's something that's no longer living. I think you have to keep moving on and keep moving forward in life in order to live. And that doesn't necessarily mean always changing your situation and how things look in a circumstance way, but at least allowing yourself to continue to grow and develop as you continue to live. How do you separate yourself from others without imitating somebody else? You know, it's a great question. I like to say that you don't have to imitate somebody else, but I don't really know how to be you. I would say find the things that you most like to do in your solitude by yourself and continue to do those. And in those things, allow yourself to express to yourself and understand why you like it. That's what I would say. Scared of AI taking over jobs? That's a very real thing. AI, man, they're coming for me first. Not gonna wait. Thank you, Jacob. Very much appreciated. I have seen Soul the Pixar movie. I really do enjoy that as well. I have a question. I wrote poems. What should I do? Should I post them somewhere? Do you have any advice, please? I mean, you could post them. Why not? I wouldn't tell you not to. Went to class, working gym. I'm contemplating career, my path forward, all of that. Real. Convince me to watch everything everywhere all at once. What if I told you you're already watching it? I hope that made you want to watch it. I hope that made you want to watch it. 3 new clients, that's what's up. Y'all on top of the game in y'all lives, man. Man, y'all make me want to lock in. Am I from New York? What makes you think I'm from New York? Good luck in your overnight. I don't know how to say your name, but I appreciate you so much. Going to uni a few days, kind of sad to let go a lot, but hopefully it's new good things to me. I think it will be good and new, as long as you're there. Can I buy you some tacos? We're not being serious anymore. Things are looking up. I started to thinking about moving in a new car and who I envision myself to be in a few months. Trust, come visit when it's all good, twin. That's tough. It is lock-in season, sort of. Yeah, the great lock-in, quote unquote. Always love your insights, man. I would love to hear your thoughts on overcoming perfectionism. I think overcoming perfectionism is really just overcoming your own internal ideology, because no thing is perfect unless it's within your own standards, I guess. It's just overcoming your own standards. It's really just letting down your dependence on things to look exactly as you want them and sort of learning to allow things to be as they are. I think that's what allows authenticity. And in a way, if you treat authenticity as perfectionism, as something that's perfect, then you never really have to overcome it. It's sort of like everything's perfect as it is in a way. People think the rag gives New York City. Man, this is a protective hair cap. Man. Owner of the gym I go to has seen me help when there's anyone else around, so he offered me the job. That is what's up. Can I troll? I don't want to say yes. I don't want to. Nah. How can I push myself without burning out? Make sure you're giving yourself rest. I think rest is an important thing. I think a lot of us don't really work. I think a lot of times we try to work and rest at the same time, and we don't really allow any real distinct difference to be between the two. And I think that's what causes us to get so tired. It's about allowing your rest to truly be a sacred thing, allowing your rest to truly be rest, and allowing your work to be work. You're my definition of elite ball knowledge. Please, you flatter me. Have I read the 4 Agreements? Of course. It's a great book. I know you said previously that making videos is a way of getting acclimated to public speaking, but how could I overcome things like the fear of presentation or just being in front of a crowd? I'm in a public speaking class right now, and I think the only thing that gets you through it is recognizing that the fear isn't something that should stop you in a way. Like, fear is not a wall. It's a feeling. You know, and the only way to overcome it is to overcome it. It's to go towards it. It's to be there and do the presentation anyway, and recognize that you're still intact, and recognize that it never really mattered what other people thought. It's always about what you think about yourself, and it's about us trying to maintain our image of ourselves in front of other people. And once we give ourselves validity in who we are, then it doesn't really become about other people. It just becomes about us doing the best as we can. And if we do our best, there's nothing really left to do. That is a good feeling, DK. Bruh. Mr. Profound, are you in uni? My name is Ian. Y'all can call me Ian. Mr. Profound, are you in uni? If so, what are you studying? Marketing and philosophy. Yes, indeed. Durag Profound. W Move. Is this like my alter ego, like Hoodie Mellow? No mask, no nothing. Are you Frank Ocean? Why do I always get Frank Ocean? Frank Ocean comments whenever I go live. Yeah, Sade in the back. You feel me? Why am I always getting Frank allegations? I don't really understand it. Is there any real reason to it? Help me relieve stress from my exam. Thank you, bro. I'm about to let y'all know what I've been thinking recently. I don't look like Frank. Stop. Freedom is not having options, it's picking one. I think that's a very big thing. I think the overzealous presence of options sometimes takes away our ability to choose. And when I say that, I really just mean that we have to make ourselves intentional on what we do choose. I think that's what frees us in a real way. Because once you actually make the effort to choose or commit to something, then it doesn't really become about whether or not you made the right choice, this is that and the other, but rather you doing it to the best of your ability. I think that's what frees us. But I think it's our stagnation that's sort of perpetuated by us just sitting. Y'all give me a second. Oh, you're not supposed to see that. Oh. Y'all talking about turn on the lights. The lights didn't go away. Boom. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh boy. Oh boy. What does the title of the stream truly mean? Involvement without attachment. I think we should be more involved and less attached. What that means to me is, truly being an active participant in your own life. How can I articulate that even better? I think involvement with life is really just taking a step forward from your thoughts and recognizing that you don't have to think about every single thing that you interact with. I think sometimes we interact with in the world so much with our mind that we become attached to certain ideas. Instead of allowing ourselves to just be involved with the life that we're living, it becomes about certain things. It becomes about how this person reacts, or about this reaction, or about this test, or about this, when it really should just be about you living life. And those can be an aspect of life, but I think when we make our entire lives about these certain objectives, outcomes, circumstances, then we become governed by them, because what we try to control always controls us. It's always a loop. So I think in allowing ourselves to not be attached to outcome, we allow ourselves to be involved with the intimacy of life. And in that way, we free ourselves from ourselves. That's what an involvement without attachment means. It's dark when black. Yeah, I did that on purpose, y'all. Glad to see you paid the electric bill. You play Stardew Valley. Yes, I do. You know all my secrets. Why do you know that? Why do you know that? What are my perspective on what's going on in the world right now? Talking about the Charlie Kirk situation. I try not to get too political on here at all. So I'll skip that. How do you get over someone who didn't like you back? Realize they never had to. That's all I would say. Our own self love is not in reference to other people's capability to love us. Sometimes it's just not working. But I think all rejection is redirection in a way. Giving you an opportunity to find something that actually likes you back, I think would be more important. Um, for sure. For sure. I often care too much about what others think of me. I feel it puts me down a lot. I need advice. Stop caring. I think you know the root of root of the issue. Um, who we are is not for others to connote. We're not here to be experienced. We're here to experience, and I think it should be left at that. I think we spend a lot of our time in the minds of other people when we really have no idea what's going on inside their minds, and oftentimes they're just thinking about themselves. So why should we limit ourselves in reference to other people's lack of thought about us? Build secure attachment with yourself. You won't care then. I would agree, but I feel like that's sort of more so the same thing. You get over someone who didn't like you by reminding yourself rejection doesn't define your worth, only your compatibility. Shout out to Gay. MJ or Brian? Brian. 100. Thank you, R. Brian. I have no comments. No preparation. Everyone thought there was a shooting in school, and my teacher said he had no training. I'm confused. All trolling aside, you're not gonna lie. Watch you for almost a year and inspired me to be authentic. Thank you very much. There was no ghost behind me. Does detachment mean indifference, or can it coexist with compassion? It can always coexist with compassion. Detachment is not indifference. I think there's a lot of things I still care about, and that's something I've been thinking about a lot recently. I still care about a lot, and I'm going to act in reference to that care a lot of the time. But that doesn't mean I'm attached to certain outcomes and ideas. Like, you can care about someone without making their being about a certain way of acting. Um, yeah. I love you too, Lewis. I started watching your content recently and started my first year in university. Any tips for me? I'm really struggling with socializing on campus and putting myself out there. I think the only way to get yourself out there is putting yourself out there. But I would practice self-love first. Telling yourself you love yourself in an actual, real, intentional way, and allowing yourself to hear the words and meditating. I think those are two things that help me a lot. And just being able to be myself, being able to be in the space that I occupy. I also recommend any form of creative expression. Give yourself a chance to be expressed without it being connoted by everyone else, and giving yourself a chance to connote yourself. Do I have a name for the plants back there? I have a name for every plant in the world. I even have a plant next to me. His name is Menfrey. It's Menfrey. This is Kalan. From right to left, that's Jamal, Gregory, Seven, and then Ra and Horace. Yeah. My school doesn't have philosophy class. Philosophy class would be it'd be interesting. How do I overcome to open yourself more? It's hard for me to open myself. Practice, I would say. Give it yourself maybe even one person to talk to, or even just yourself. Like, giving yourself a chance to express to yourself is so important. Like, I started doing poetry. I started doing just writing, just giving myself a chance to be seen, giving myself a real audience, so I no longer needed to perform. And then being open is just something you do, because it's not about closing yourself off. I feel like sometimes our vulnerability is in our inability to be vulnerable. with Charlie Keith, when that happened, people thought there was a shooting in school. That's crazy. Sometimes racism gets to me. You have any advice for that, Twin? I mean, unfortunately, that's the world we live in. And I don't mean that to say just give into it, but I think recognizing your own worth and standing on it and not ever living in any type of opinion or stereotype that other people may have. And whenever they do have opinions that blatantly get to you or blatantly come towards you, like someone saying something, for example, recognize that it really just shows their own ignorance. And sometimes I just relish in that, relish in the knowing that I'm more of an open and, in a way, caring person than they are. And then it doesn't really matter to an extent. But when it comes to systemic issues and actually fighting back against it, of course. But I think the real revolution won't really be televised. Detachment isn't coldness. It's what you let. It's what lets you care without control. Yes. Last thing I thought I'd see is a collection of plants with names. They all have names. They have to have names. So it's my desk setup. No. I feel like I'm in a spot where I recognize patterns that keep me stuck, but when the moment comes, I always go full circle back. Yeah, the only way to be outside of a cycle, I feel like, the only way to break a cycle is to be outside of it sometimes. It's really just about choosing to be entirely different, not even conforming to some of the same patterns. You know, when you have a thought that leads to a thought and you recognize that it may lead to the thing that you're not trying to be stuck with, you choose something new. Sometimes that new thing is uncomfortable though, but that's all the more reason to do it. What's 2 plus 2? How do I do with suppressive relatives? Not listening. Truly not listening to them. Everyone has an opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. But the only person who can truly be right about you is you. And of course, you got to be honest with yourself. But you're the only one that can see your own internal workings. How do you stop being addicted to fear? By addicting yourself to courage. I don't know. Addiction to fear. I'm going to need you to rephrase that. I don't really understand the question. How do I stop being afraid, maybe? I think fear is an interesting thing. I've definitely dealt with it a lot in my own experience, but it really has no basis most of the time. And I think that's what frees me from it, is recognizing that it has no basis. Like, is any of that I'm fearing really grounded in reality? Do I truly think that something is going to occur? And if the answer isn't yes or no, and it's like ambiguous, like it's up to me, then I just choose to be present. Because that's the only opportunity I get to ever influence the moment. When did I start getting into self-love and strengthening your own mental health? Probably like 7 years ago. No, not 7. Probably like 6 years ago. Almost, actually, yeah, 7. Like 7 years ago. Do I post anywhere other than YouTube? I have a Substack. I have a TikTok. I have a Instagram. I am getting on Twitch soon. What time is it there? Let me dox you, JK. Ha ha ha. I can ban you, you know. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you for being here. I can't clearly know what I want in life or what I want to do with my life. How can I know the one thing I wanted? By experimenting. I think a lot of us don't do trial and error because our greatest error is in our lack of trial. We need to go out there and do stuff and explore. There's always more to explore. I think that's what is sort of limiting. And also, sometimes choosing something and going with it. Choosing something that maybe excites you for a second and just choosing it because it excites you and nothing else. What's the difference between caring deeply and clinging tightly? Clinging tightly and caring deeply. That's a great question. I think caring deeply is more so, wanting the best, but not forcing the quote unquote best, if that makes sense. It's like allowing someone to be as they are, period, and having care for that and deeply caring about that, but not making it about that care that you have. Yeah. What religion do I practice? Yes. I'm sorry. I couldn't really answer that. How not to off myself because of college? Um, First and foremost, if you're serious about that, because I'm not gonna ignore it. Um, Talk to somebody you love, truly. If not, I love you because I think that everyone deserves to live, and I think college is a great opportunity for us to find connection in a way, and if not connection, find ourselves, find our connection with ourselves, and it's just about opening yourself to that idea. Truly, I think a lot of times we're stuck in certain ideas, and what we want to get rid of isn't so much ourselves as it is our current thoughts about our circumstance. So it's about allowing yourself to input new thoughts and practicing self-love. What type of music do I listen to? Man, everything. Um, Everything but country. Simple. What kind of mindset shift do I need to make content? Um, get out of the headspace that is about how other people react to it. I think it's just about doing it, expressing yourself. Please don't ban me. Please don't ban me. Ah. Do you ever think you overanalyze and rationalize your emotions a lot? If so, how do you snap out of it? I think I do rationalize my emotions a lot. Like, I understand why I feel this way because of this and because of that. And I don't necessarily snap myself out of it. I give myself a real chance to feel it. I think that's what snaps me out of it, is actually allowing myself to feel the emotion rather than have certain things be a certain way so I can feel different. Just allowing myself to feel that way about that for a second. And recognizing that how I feel about that doesn't mean I have to feel this way about myself enough for it to impact me. Thank you, Trader Richie. It's like I don't know what's gonna happen in the coming days of my life. I guess it'll make life worth living. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, I don't really know what every single day is gonna look like. I don't. I only know what right now looks like, and that's all I can ever know. So I don't really try to abstract myself and how that's gonna look. How can you ban me? I'm number one. Number one on the list to get banned. Last question, more of a recommendation. Try Outer Wilds. What is that? Is that a game? Or is that a book? I don't want to let myself go, bruh. I understand that sentiment. Like, I don't, like, sometimes I'll be mourning myself in a way. Like, I'll be like, dang, I kind of mess with myself a lot. I don't want to be a different person. And, I find that letting yourself go isn't so much of getting rid of your entire identity, but not making your identity about thought and rather expression. Yeah. What's love? Love is everything. Love is the driving force of the universe. Was there ever a point in your life where you felt lonely and would isolate? If so, how do you start to get out of it? By recognizing I had people that actually cared about me and caring about myself enough to allow them to care. Can involvement exist without expectation? Of course. You can do something without expecting something from it. Of course, of course. What's wrong with country music? Nothing. Nothing is wrong with country music. Favorite song of ASAP Rocky? Fashion Killer. Yeah. Thank you, Oscar. How's an individual force oneself to make the first step, like get the cycle going? By being present and just taking the step. Loving yourself enough to take the step. Asking yourself whether or not you want to stay the same and taking the step. It's really just, it's always the first step that reveals the second. I think that's what allows us to go on the path of something new, is by actually just taking a step. You never seen a live? Love my videos. Thank you very much. A live. It's ending soon, maybe. What does being present mean to you in relationships or work? That's a great point. When it comes to like work, I'd be present, being present enough to do the things that actually contribute to it, or being present enough to not. Sometimes I feel like when we get in the habit of doing work, we treat it like work, and in that way we dampen ourselves. Like we make it seem like we're doing something so busy, so fatiguing, so draining. And in those times, I try to be present enough to just give myself love for even doing something that contributes to me, like actually feeling happy about it. And in relationships, it's like giving your you're really giving yourself an opportunity, like you're opening yourself up with another person. You're giving yourself an opportunity to grow your perspective and understand how to navigate other people in a way, not in a way of like control, but in a way of understanding, in a way of allowing them to be and allowing yourself to be through your allowance of them. It's like allowing movement is what allows you to move. I feel that, Usher. I feel that a lot. Sometimes it's about that step to talk. I feel like sometimes anxiety needs an answer. And I don't mean that for everybody. I feel like that just something I found with myself. Like I can't just doing something. Just taking an action, getting yourself out of your mind in a way. Pancakes or waffles? Pancakes, man. Fashion killers are good. Thank you, bum, sneaky boo memer. I hope that's your name. Your videos have been helping ground my thoughts. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're here. Man, I ain't a G for this. Y'all are helping me more than you know. How do you know so much? Being able to put words so articulately and blending words so poetically. I have no idea. I kind of just put my hands up and talk, but I have been doing it for quite a while. I think it's come with the ease of knowing, or at least trusting my ability to speak. I've been doing it on YouTube for like 5 years now, so it's become pretty habitual at this point. But I'm trying to get in the habit of actually being able to do it in the world. It's ending soon. Now, how long have you been live? For like 5 hours. I'm not gonna lie. This is hour 5 of the profound pondering-a-thon. It's been a little too long. How do you choose full embodiment for a channel over? How did you choose full embodiment for a channel over putting yourself out there in the world to accumulate life experience and accolades? I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean by that, Philip St. John? What do you think of the new Chance the Rapper album, Mr. Ponderer? Did not listen. Sorry. How do you care about yourself without seeking that validation from other people? By caring about yourself. By caring about yourself enough to validate yourself. And if we truly cared about ourselves, then why would we allow other people's validation to restrict our care for ourselves? That's just how I look at it. How to stop being addicted to fear. I think I might have answered that already. But getting out there for the most part. How do you feel about reaching out to someone again after things ended on bad terms? It depends. Now, are you like just going to apologize or rekindle, or I don't know. It depends what you're looking for. That's very circumstantial. What would you do if you went into a Waffle House and they just started throwing hands? Me personally, I would just meal and show like medieval times. No comment. I've seen videos though. Waffle House is a great place. Thank you, Datuna. Is solitude a bliss? It can be. So can being with a person. I think that's as much as I can answer. French toast, yes. French toast over everything. French toast supremacy. Yes, yes. Trying to come out more, but it's that predetermined thought that makes it somewhat scared. Then it's about going out there anyway and recognizing that your thoughts aren't everything. Am I vegetarian? No, I am not. I don't know why I give you veggie vibes. You have multiple rooms or a different angle of the same room. Just recognize your videos in either background or other room. Yeah, I have a bed. Oh, the other one with the bed, that was my dorm room a year ago. Years, 2 years ago, sort of, year and a half ago. Favorite types of questions, rhetorical ones. Realize that knowing myself is being myself, and being myself is knowing myself. That's true. Who you are, it doesn't need to be thought of. It needs to be expressed. Like, who you are is more easily expressed than it is thought. We don't have to think about who we are and how this action or how to say this or how to talk. Even you talk, you expect yourself. You don't have to think of every single word you're gonna say. Like, when I make my videos, when I talk right now, like, I'm not thinking of anything I'm gonna say. I'm just responding. I read something and I'm just talking. Just open myself to express myself as I am. Do I have any book recommendations for overthinking relationships to our lives and ourselves? Tuesdays with Maury. Great. Great team. I feel like it's important to give meaning to stuff, but also not to overthink and fluster your mind. Don't know when to decide what level is best. I think that comes with every situation and comes with trial and error. I think I tend not to give too much meaning to a lot of things that are variable in a way, like how the day looks or how everything goes and whether or not something goes my way in a schedule sense. But what I do think I give meaning to is like being present, being where I am, appreciating life, finding something to appreciate, or expressing myself, or doing something with self love in mind. I think that's what doesn't fluster my mind because it's never really on giving other things too much meaning. Like, I value my friendships, but I value my friendships presently. When I get to talk to them, when I get to think about them. Sometimes I'm just happy that everyone's heart is just beating at the same time. Sorry, I was a little into it. I mean, what made you choose yourself for putting your thoughts out there and feel like you didn't need to necessarily have a degree or accomplishment to feel like you knew more or validate yourself? Well, mind you, I'm still in school. I am getting educated. Um, but a person's knowledge and wealth of self and whether or not something helped them personally, I feel like is just out there. I feel like that's a knowledge you accumulate not in school. I feel like that's not anything they teach you. So why I feel comfortable putting my thoughts out there is because they're my thoughts. And they're not really about anyone else in a way. And I don't mean they can't apply. I mean, they're my thoughts. What are my hobbies? Um, Philosophy. No, I'm playing. Writing, poetry, sometimes art, listening to music, going on hikes, going in nature. That's it. Toughest part of writing a book, sitting there with them pages and editing over 5 times, going through all pages. It's a 200-page something book, guys. It's up there a little bit. When something you wanted didn't work out, how did you handle it? I think typically I just recognize that me wanting it and me not getting it is not a reason for me to dislike myself. And I just continue to give myself the same amount of love I would give if I was to get it. And work whatever tweaks I need to work out, figure out why I didn't get it in this scenario, and doing what I can. Because that's all I can do. How do you overcome, go out there? It's been a while. I haven't been out there. I'm just trying to socialize more. I don't know. Just spark a conversation. I talked to I don't know if y'all ever been to Canes, but one time I was just walking around. I went to Canes. I was sitting in the back, like in the back near the dumpsters, trash cans. I'm not saying I was next to trash cans per se. I was just in the alley. And then one of the workers came out. I was eating his break. And I was like, I'm just going to talk to bro. And me and him talked for like 30 minutes. I learned his name. Never spoke to him again. It's easy to talk to people. I think a lot of people are waiting on an opportunity to express themselves, including you. As a young man walking through the tunnel, becoming the greatest, what should the focus be on? The greatest at what? Oh, becoming his greatest. Sorry. What should his focus be on? Walking the path, walking the tunnel. That's it. Not anything else, really. How do I stop smoking? I keep saying every day of my last day when I go to sleep and wake up, it's like I repeat the same cycle. Recognizing one, why you're tied to the cycle and consciously choosing not to give into it. Replacing it with something different. Not saying like another substance, but sometimes like drawing or meditating or giving yourself an opportunity for change. I got broken up with recently. I realized I was still attached. How do you practice letting go of the idea of someone in life without a person? You accept the idea. That's how you let go. Like accepting that that person is no longer there. Your love can be there. I don't think we love ever for no reason. I think anything that makes you feel anything that's not in self pity is a beautiful thing. Mm. Thank you, Philip St. John. All right, Mrs. Poetry. Hey, whatever you say. How do you separate the anxiety you get from the world from your life, especially when it may directly affect you? I don't like events in my life. I don't really get anxiety from the world. Like I know certain things look a certain way, and it may. Okay, I think I may know what you're talking about. It's about really just being where I am for me, and I think even if I can acknowledge certain things that may be negative in my circumstances, environment, world, I don't make that all my world is about. But maybe getting the poetry, just hearing it, really understand. Like I like writing, so I like being able to write in a way that's like so condensed. Like everything has so much meaning. I think I like that the most. I feel like I kind of try to put my mind inside of other people's minds in conversation because I think it makes me more engaged with them. But I'm learning that leads me to false conclusions. That's very real. You got to let people express themselves as they are. What's up, my king? How was your day? My day was beautiful. Thank you for asking. Are you more afraid of failing or losing your sense of self if you succeed? I don't think I would lose my sense of self if I would succeed. I feel like I'm succeeding every day. Um, in a way, failure is like I just don't see a point in in fearing it too much. If it happens, it will. But I know my greatest opportunity to success is not going to be found in my constant fear of failure. Have I read Friedrich Nietzsche? Yes, I have. I think I read Will. I think it's Will to Power. I have one of his books somewhere. Yeah, The Will to Power. Is loneliness a good thing? I think it can be. Solitude is an opportunity for sure. Do I mess with angel numbers? Yes, of course. Thoughts on being less awkward and more comfortable around people. Guys, I'm not a social expert at all. I feel like I just let myself talk and not really focus on how I look for other people. I mean, I'm always going to look the way I am. I'm always sharing. Even if I don't talk, I'm always sharing. I look this way. You just have to share with love and love what you share. Replace with cigarettes, which is worse my physical and mental health. Any advice? Quitting both, I would say, if that's what your objective is. Because, yeah. What more forms of meditation do I recommend? Doing the thing that makes you feel most like yourself. How you feel about pouring into yourself versus caring about others. You can do both. You can do both. Just don't make your pouring into yourself about your caring for others or your caring about others into your pouring for self. Like if you care about others, allow yourself to care about others, and you can pour into yourself for caring about others. When you feel that appreciation, it's you feeling that appreciation, and allowing yourself to feel that is a pretty rewarding thing. It allows you to make your life a lot more intimate. What time do you usually go live? I usually go live at like 8:30 on a random day. Once I get on Twitch, I'll be a little bit more consistent. How often do you say you spend on social media or on it at all? I try not to be on social media too much at all. I go on there to post, and I try to live my life. But I would say 45 to an hour a day. I gotta go. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you very much for all your energy and all your contributions. WDK too for saying bye as well. How can I do a hobby without being jealous of someone else better than me? Because your hobby is your hobby. It's not about other people being better than you at it. There are a million things that I do that I think people are better, quote unquote, or I don't even consider it a better or worse. It's my expression. It's my hobby. Like when you make it about other people, it ceases to be a hobby. It starts to be, I don't know, like a competition. How does one overcome anxiety when trying to make a friend? who are anxious about whether or not they want to be your friend. I mean, if you're not, I don't know. It's just like putting yourself out there. I mean, you also get to choose if you want that person to be your friend or not, too. And any person that doesn't want you shouldn't even be someone you want to be your friend. Learning to be alone is a gift. Truly. Yeah. We can get addicted to negative feelings so easily. I think a lot of people don't realize that. But in the same way, we can get addicted to our positive ones. And when I say addicted, I mean most used to and most repetitive. I mean, sometimes when people are happy, they force themselves to be sad because they're addicted to the feeling of being sad. It's what they associate most with themselves. It's about being present enough to choose your associations sometimes. I watched some videos, but this is my first time watching live. Hey, I'm glad to hear that, Marcellus. I'm glad to hear you enjoy it. Or if you enjoy it. I think that was implying you enjoyed it. What's a good book recommendation? Tuesdays with Maury. I think losing my sense of self after success is scarier. Failure stings, but at least I'm still me. If success changes who I am, makes me dependent on it, I've lost something much deeper. I get that. But are you grounding yourself in failure? Is that what defines you? I think I don't really define myself as in the spectrum of success and failure. And in that way, I'm free from whatever it looks like, if that makes sense. You type a lot? Oh boy. How did I go about my first ever video or content? What did you feel? See, I used to have a gaming channel with one of my friends back home, and I did that for a long time. And I just wanted my own thing. I wanted to make videos just like this. And one day I just said I'm gonna do it, and just did it. Didn't tell anyone about it. Just kept doing it. Started telling a couple of people. And I never really got anything too negative about it. And I didn't really make it about anything. I just allowed myself to do it. How can I truly not be attached to someone's responses and opinions of me? I do good until I meet someone new. You have to give people freedom to think whatever they want. They can think whatever they want. You can look at someone random, and this is just hypothetical. You can look at someone random in the street and think the most negative things about them just because you think that. I don't mean that we should. I'm just talking about how free we are to think anything. You can imagine everyone loved you. You can imagine it. It's a thought. It's just like what thoughts we want to give power to. Theirs or ours. Or no thoughts at all. What's my favorite book for self-improvement in general? The Alchemist. Actually, self-improvement. Probably the Four Agreements. How do I accept the fact that I'm chopped and I can't even attract anyone? Recognize that beauty truly is in the eye of the beholder. Truly is. Some people may have an eye for a similar thing. That doesn't mean anything. That means they all came to the same conclusion. For them. Not for you. What's my time zone? Nah. Caught up in the rapture of love. Ever struggle with any dysmorphia? I wouldn't say to a grandiose extent. I think I don't know how to really express it. It's like not really opening yourself up to that. Like it's always going to be my body. And I think what helps me most is like truly honoring it. Like stretching for myself or working out with the intention like I'm taking care of my body. And in that way, if I'm doing what I can with it, then I have no reason to not give it affirmation. If you had a long relationship with the girl, then you break up with her. What advice are you asking for advice on how to break up? Or, I don't, yeah. How do you embrace autonomy in close personal and romantic relationships, especially when it's in the honeymoon phase? Embrace your own autonomy or theirs? It's like just allowing people, or you mean like you're too close to each other? I don't know what you mean. How far back am I from? Okay, I'm not too far back. Hmm. But yeah, I would say the only way to get over that in the honeymoon phase is to sort of consciously allow, recognize that you still are getting to know this person. That doesn't mean you stop enjoying it. Always enjoy it, but continue to try to get to know it. You are more than looks. Absolutely. Do you ever feel pressure when people ask you for advice? Like, do you ever feel like people are thinking you have the answers to everything? No, I don't actually. I think more so I just focus on the idea that I'm sharing my own perspective of something, and whether or not anyone relates to that or agrees is really their prerogative. They can do what they want. I know what I think will work good for me, and I feel like I trust my own mental capacity for the most part, and that's what gives me the freedom to sort of say it. However, turn anger into positive action and now meditation. I used to be a very angry kid. Do you think Vagabond portrays life realistically or is it more of a spiritual allegory? It's both. It's a very realistic spiritual allegory. I think so much can be applied. I've read Vagabond too many times. How can I? I might reread it again. Dang. How can I deal with not being able to apologize to someone now that I can really mean it? Not being able to, not wanting to. Like, what? What do you mean not able to? Like, is it if it's possible? Now I just recommend doing it. True connection and respect come when you value yourself deeply rather than chasing approval or validation. I agree. What kind of my sports am I into? I like basketball. My name Trey. I got a basketball game tomorrow. That's pretty much it. I used to run track though. That's the only thing I really did. Have I looked into Hermeticism? I love Hermeticism. Everything is everything in a real way. Love from the Philippines. Oops. Love, man. Someone who wants to go into writing lengthy posts about mindfulness, self-discovery, self-love with to do it in a video form, as well as never talked on camera. That's exactly what I did. Start with reading the scripts, reading them as scripts, and then over time, I don't know. I just didn't want to. It just became a second nature thing. I don't know. It's like I write in my head, but like it's just me writing with the pen as I'm talking. And when I used to write, it was like that too. Like I never really knew what I was gonna write about. I would always have like a topic idea, and then I just start writing. And I do the same thing with this. I have topic ideas, and I just start talking. Thank you, Yasmin. Yasmin. I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah, I mean, if it's hard to detach from one another. Okay, let me go back up to your question because I kind of forgot. Mm. Um, I would say continue to do something consciously for your own individuality, like doing the thing that you like by yourself just because. And I know at first it may seem like weird or difficult, but that's what I think saves it a lot is keeping on or keeping firm the identity of who you are, or at least allowing yourself to. Broke up, but in a relationship, he was talking to another guy. Uh, then there's no point in talking, really. Wait, you said, yeah. I mean, it depends. I don't really know. My daily routine, cool. Sorry, had to talk to a roommate. My daily routine is pretty calm. I wake up. I typically meditate. I write. I get up, get ready for the day, make a video, edit, stretch, make a reel, go to class, do home. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's pretty much it on a good day. When I want to, when I typically do everything I want. when you get too attached to winning unrealistic progress. I think going to the gym for me is about loving where I currently am. Like I don't make it about any. I want to progress, of course, but just appreciating like what I'm currently able to do. I feel like it's such a more freeing feeling. It makes it about going to the gym. Like I'm taking care of my body right now. Period. And it's going to show me results as I continue to take care of it. I don't know. Yeah. What type of humor would you say? I don't know what the types of humor are, and I don't know. You let me know. If my perspective on something is different from my girls, how do I fix that? Or is it a problem we're facing when we see everything differently? It depends on what you're talking about. I feel like I'll say that every relationship is unique, and I can't really speak too much about that. But sometimes you could just allow difference in perspective, and sometimes you can recognize when your ego's getting in the way of you being able to understand the perspective. Vagabond is really up there. You're so right. How do I go about my girl not being? This is getting to relationship. You feel me? I'm gonna stop talking about relationships. I love relationships, but I feel like they're very specific. Very specific. That's all a crazy question. What are my goals? I can't tell you that. How can I clarify in choosing the direction for my life when I'm constantly feel torn between different passions and expectations? This philosophy more about finding one true path. No, it's about recognizing that wherever you go is the path. It's about making choices, really. Changing your delay mode whenever you get a chance. It's like 30 seconds to a minute delay. Not sure if it's just me, though. What do you mean? Oh, between like me reading a comment, I'm very far up in the comments. Can't lie to you. You see me? Yes, I see you. My goals were to get an apartment or her promotion paid. Doesn't think she'd be able to do it. Then it sounds like you no longer can be together in general. But that's just my perspective. I can't really give you that. I'm trying to start playing basketball. I've always wanted to do so. Good sport for me around 6'2" at 14. What position? 6'2" at 14. Freshman year. You can really go small forward, center, power if you want. Small forward, center. Or not. No, I'm sorry. Small forward, power forward, and shooting guard. Depends how you play. But I would say a small forward is tough for you. Got kicked out of school. Cop. Well, I would give yourself a chance to be new. No, I don't. How do you know when your ego is getting in the way? When you start caring for real. When you start feeling something for real. If it's not, your ego is the only thing you have that feels something for you. In a overtly negative way. Like I know my ego's involved when I really care sometimes. When it's not about me resolving it with some person and it becomes about me being right. That's how I know. But also there's boundaries and self-respect. But none of which I feel like your ego can't be a part of. How do you stop yourself from getting stuck in your thoughts? What do you do to stay present? Meditation. Whenever I am thinking, I think of ways to not think. Like I always revert back to just focusing my attention on the present moment. Romanticizing life lately, as you should. What am I talking about, bro? Yeah, I never really talk about relationship. You're all good though. Don't even stress about that. I'm grateful. I realize how ungrateful I am. I shouldn't be you. Everyone's shocked. Tell me everything. Incident was 17. I don't think there's no like. You count yourself blessed. Who cares what they think? Do something with it and make it worth your while. That's what I would say. I don't know the types of humor either. If you can recognize you're ungrateful, that sounds like gratitude to me. Can't hear you, bro. Just screaming the mic. Can y'all hear me, bro? I feel like y'all can hear me. Any advice on how to overcome loneliness? Start loving the person you're alone with. Truly. Truly. Can y'all hear me? Why did nobody answer that? I can't really give y'all nothing. Okay, I'm about to say. Thank you. I also read somewhere reading your goals can also stop you from doing it. I don't know what it is. I don't share things until I have them in the flesh. Been in school, I feel lost due to lack of routine. Naturally, I can't think of what I'm interested in. I can dedicate to. Then dedicate to something that seems slightly interesting, or look for things and see whether or not you're interested in them. How can I balance my desire for success and achievement with actually enjoying the present moment? By enjoying the present moment while doing things for your success and achievement, and enjoying being present while doing it. Mixing them together, I think. Been in your crib since February. All the more reason. Have I ever been to jail? No, I have not. Do you think that social media gives advice so white and black, like they exclude the nuances? Um, I think sometimes they can, but the nuances are always there. It's about not. I don't know. I feel like I can have become a lot more adaptable to certain advice because I don't make my life about the nuances. Like if they give me advice on a perspective, then I just shift to that perspective. And I think sometimes we get in the habit of trying to apply everything to everything that makes it like not a matter of feeling. Because what we're doing is trying to make ourselves feel different, not always trying to make our exact thoughts about something different. Some things are just going to be negative no matter how you think about them. And you just have to learn to accept that sometimes. I feel like that's what helps me. Hmm. Wait, I'm number 1 5. What lessons about patience and timing can you draw from Musashi's story? Just the act of being present no matter what. Listening to everything, being one with everything in a way. Why does it feel so hard to get in the state of not doing anything when it feels like there's a lot to do? By doing and actively doing with the idea in mind that you're going to give yourself rest in proportion to what you're doing. All right, chat. It's looking like the time. I'm gonna answer the last ones that I see up to Nacho Gonzalez, and then I'm going. What does being present really mean? Being beyond your thought. To me, there's so many definitions you can have. To me, it's being beyond your thoughts, not being captured by our thoughts, and instead being captured in the world. How do you actually meditate? Just speaking, it low key looks kind of goofy, like you're just sitting there. Well, it is just sitting there, and getting okay with sitting there. How can someone spend less time on social media by making other things habitual, like reading, writing, actually doing things in the moment? I really want to get more glass blowing as a way to express myself creatively. I haven't done it in a while because I'm broke in college, don't have money. Any other ways, maybe feel that way, try pottery. Take a class in college, pottery class or something like that. Or locally, or just find some type of art form that you do by yourself. Nacho Gonzalez, last thing. I'm doing a year long school capstone project, but literally cannot pick anything I feel passionate about. What should I do with deal with that? Give yourself a chance to write about things you're passionate about, or look online at certain capstone projects that have been done and see if you have any inkling of excitement for anything. But all in all, thank y'all for staying tuned. Video on the way tomorrow, guys. You know, your regularly scheduled program. Keep being y'all. Keep being great. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Doing anything you can. Oh, is there any way to share my art with you? DM me on profile at Profound Pondering on Instagram. I'll probably see it tomorrow or tonight if I remove my blocker. Thank y'all. Keep y'all. Keep being great. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Doing what you can. What you have. A lot on the way, and a lot is already here. Good day and farewell.